Hey, there it goes. Hey, everybody, I'm Nick James from Gluttons for Geekdom. We've been doing a little bit of podcasting lately. We're not going to be anywhere anymore on your AURAL, A-U-R-A-L. So we're going to get some video going. And what are we going to talk about today? That's right, the one, the only Man of Steel, Superman. Basically, what I want to go do is just go through some facts and information, so we can start a nice conversation. June 1938. 38, a long time ago. That is when Mr. Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, went out and published Superman. They had a really hard time doing it. But Action Comics #1, if you've seen it, Superman lifting up a big green car and the guy's all like, ah! Really awesome, hard comic to find, even though if you do find them, it's most likely to be in your walls for whatever reason, the last one that was found. Or you're Nick Cage and you own it and then you sold it. Whatever. Oh, Nick Cage, we're going to get to him in a little bit. Did you know he was going to be in a Superman film? Man, alright. You want to talk films first? Gosh, I'm nervous, can you tell? In 1948 to 1950, Kirk Alien was the first one to take over, and he was the only one to do Superman on the bright, big screen. And then after that is when everybody started catching on. Warner Brothers optioned Superman, and they put Mr. Christopher Reeve, who went to Juilliard, and whether or not you knew, his roommate was Robin Williams. Funny. So from 78 to 87 is when, I was going to say Robin Williams. Can you imagine that? I'm Superman. Anyway, Christopher Reeve got the role, and he was in it, and really, when you see him in that first Superman, it's awesome. He fills the tights, literally, figuratively. I mean, he seems sincere when he says, I'm here for truth, justice, and the American way. It's just, I really believe that guy. Brandon Routh was the next one to get on screen for Superman, Bryan Singer film, in 2006. And not a lot of people like that. Superman was a little bit creepy in that. He's stalking Lois Lane and stuff. And the big thing that I love from that is Kevin Smith mentioned. So the way that wanted to go, Bryan Singer wanted to honor the Donner film. So in a chronological order, Superman Returns, Brandon Routh would have came after Superman 2, which was after Zod already. So at the very end of that, weird Superman power, and as I'm educating about Superman, or at least trying to, he doesn't have the power to kiss people and make them forget stuff. I don't know where that came from, why that is, but at the very end, he kisses Lois, she forgets everything, and, Jimmy, what's going on in the world? So then we cut to Superman Returns. She's got a little kid. And a little kid at the very end, spoilers, is Superman, do you think? Why wouldn't she question, hey, you kissed, if her memory's all gone, how do we have a kid together? That'd be the first thing I ask, rather than oh, he's your kid. It's why? When did we have sex and you not tell me, Superman? Kevin Smith said this. It's a very good point, though. But right now we are in the presence of another perfect Superman, going way back to Christopher Reeve, a modern Superman, a man who really feels it. Henry Cavill is looking really good. He got his Man of Steel debut in 2013, and now he is doing Batman v Superman came out. Very first podcast we did, Gluttons for Geekdom, on Podbean and iTunes. You can find it. It's two-parter. It's about our review. Me and Mr. Bobby Deuce. John Cannon wasn't in there yet, but eventually he will. We like this movie on a whole. My big problem with it is that you don't abbreviate Lois to Lo. And if you see the extended version, it goes and he does that twice. It's a small nitpick, but I'm allowed to do it because I paid to see it. Now we're going to jump over to TV, and the very first person that we know on TV is George Reeves. Again, same last name, no relation to Christopher Reeve, who would have come later on. 51 to 58 is when he did that, so he had that gig for a long time. A lot of people like to describe him as what your dad would look like as Superman. It's a really onesie kind of looking thing, and a lot of the flying could be done even as simple as this. Here I am, and just... I didn't fly, guys. I'm still down here. Dean Cain was the next one to get it. Now, I watched Lois and Superman growing up. That was 93 to 97, so that went on just roughly from 3 to 7 years old, and I remember watching that and getting amped about that. That show was fun. Terry Hatcher, didn't appreciate it then, but right now, just this fucking smoke show she is. I like that one. Now, I'm going to kind of go in between some lines right now. A very funny, not funny, I don't know, interesting, maybe. Dean Cain, when they were doing the Adventures of Lois and Superman, that was different, but still integrated into DC Comics. DC Comics, they'd show up every once a year and go, all right, let's plan out the whole year. And every time that would happen, some guy would say, let's just freaking kill Superman. And everybody, ah ha ha, no, what are we going to do? And they'd start writing. So in comics world, they got to the point where they were like, all right, Superman and Lois get married, it's going to happen. TV world said, no, you can't do that yet. We're going to have Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain do that next year. So now they're sitting around going, holy shit, we just planned out this whole year, and now we don't know what's going to happen? So the guy just said, let's just kill him. And nobody could fight him. They didn't have another story, so they did. And that's where the death of Superman actually comes from. That's kind of cool. You know, that's what we're going through right now. If you watch Batman v Superman at the end, spoilers, Superman died. If you have any news of what's going on for the new Justice League, we've seen the black suit, the long hair, Silver S. If you're a Superman fan, you know he is coming back. Tom Welling. I don't know if there's any Smallville people out there. Tom Welling got it from 2001 to 2011. I won 11 years, I believe. Never saw him in the suit. So is he Superman? I don't know. They went through the young years, 11 years of that show. It's hard to keep anything going for that long and keep that momentum. He did good. And right now on Supergirl we have Tyler Hoechlin. Don't know if I said that last name right. Didn't get too far with that. Really got to keep up. I got to get back on that. I know that big crossover just happened. That's going to be awesome. But right now, I'm not really too sure what he's doing. I've seen photos. I think he looks good. He looks good in the suit. I'll take it. It's TV version. We can have two versions. There's enough Superman for everybody. Now the part that I really want... Oh, yeah, the Nicolas Cage. I didn't get to that. So Tim Burton got optioned. He was going to make a Nicolas Cage starring Chris Rock as Jimmy Olsen, and I think they wanted Sandy Bullock for Lois Lane. Superman flick. And if you watch John Schnepp's The Death of Superman Lived, What Happened? Awesome documentary. And it goes through the entire thing. Where did it start and where did it go? Why isn't it known? And a lot of people only know that one photo of Nicolas Cage, and he just got it snapped, and he literally just looks like me. He's there, and he's like... And everybody looks at that photo, and they're like, fuck that guy. He's going to be a horrible Superman. But if you listen to some of the story arcs that they had planned for it, one of the things that they had planned, and spoiler if you want to watch the documentary, the movie's never getting made though, one of the things they did was that Superman, Clark Kent, didn't know that he was an alien. He just knew that he was different. He knew that he was invulnerable, blah, blah, blah. So inside of his apartment, in his back room, he had all these clippings of metahumans and stuff like that, even though I'm sure they didn't have that name yet. And eventually LexCorp finds the shell, finds his, spaceship. Mom and Pa Kent just found him. They didn't find him in a spaceship, as the story usually goes. And everything clicks, and he finds out he's an alien, and he has this moment of, holy God, I knew I was different. I knew everything was bad, but all of a sudden now I'm not even a weird human being. I'm an alien, like, oh God, and flies off, and like, I've never heard that. I've never heard that story. So it kind of, it tickled my imagination. I liked it. So now we've done film, we've done TV. Now my favorite, because I love me a good cartoon. And if you're going to go to cartoons, you have to start with the Fleischer Animated. It's the original Fleischer? Max Fleischer Studios? Oh gosh, I hope that's right. If not, I'll sound like an idiot. But they're beautiful. They were on Netflix for a while. I don't think they're there anymore. But Bud Koiler is the guy who did the voice for that. Not only did he do the voice for that, the first cartoon of Superman, he was the radio from 1940 to 1951. He was the one who turned mild-mannered Clark Kent into Superman with just a little raise of his voice. So, hats off to that guy. He started it. But that's, every single person who wants to be Superman now goes like this and doesn't exactly tone their voice, but make sure it's deep and heard. Pretty awesome. 17 theatrical little kind of animated shorts in between that, but the Fleischer, it's got to be Max Fleischer. Those cartoons went from 66 to 70. And then we didn't get Superman the animated series until Batman the animated series took off, and that was done by Tim Daly is his name. And that, in my head, when I read comic books and Superman's on screen, as same right here, Kevin Conroy is Batman, Tim Daly is my Superman. He's the guy in my noggin, if I really have to. And that went a long time. In 2007 was their first animated Superman Doomsday, and like I'm saying, that kind of follows Batman v Superman, but that is the death of Superman, and like I'm saying, that came because Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain had to get married. Adam Baldwin did the voice for that. A Baldwin, Superman, doesn't make sense. New Frontier, Kyle M. McLaughlin, I don't know. New Frontier, it's called Justice League New Frontier, it's not a Superman standalone. Freaking amazing. That's a good one. If you got to pick up the graphic novel, if you want to pick up the animated, they bring you back to the day of, just like I'm saying, the truth, justice, and American way, and Wonder Woman's all awesome. Batman goes from this kind of looking guy to like the serious Batman. It's so good. It's just what's the word? Nostalgic. That's the word I'm looking for. Fantastic. After that, Tim Daly got to take back over for Superman. He did Batman, Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. Again, another great book. I think it's right here, actually. Oh man, I could be a big nerd right now. Yes, I can. Awesome graphic novel if you want. If not, yes, it is an animated. That came out in '09. That was really good. Tim Daly got it back again for that. In the same year, they did All-Star Superman, which isn't on here because it's lent out right now. But, I can't look at my notes. It's not that far. James Denton? Yeah, James Denton. Now, to go back to Tim Daly, and let me put this back, take this out. This one is called, it was just called Doomsday? No, let me see. What was that? Apocalypse, excuse me. Boom. Again, if you want the graphic novel, super cool. If you want to do the other one, that one they just translated into Apocalypse. It's got one of the best Superman fight scenes. You know, you think the movie's over, spoilers. He goes to reach for the Kent farm. He opens the door, and it's a big old dark side fist, and him and her go at it. It's really good. In between that, though, what I missed was Crisis on Infinite Earths with Mark Harmon. He got the voice of Superman. Another really good one. It's Ultraman, Owlman. Shit, I don't remember the others, but you know, it's exactly what it is. Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's really good. Now let's see where we're going. All-Star Superman. We talked about that. Superman Doom. Justice League Doom, excuse me. With, again, Tim Daly got that back. So it's so great hearing him again as Superman because he is Superman. I just watched, to get ready for this, get me in the Superman mood, Superman versus the Elite, where George Newbern got the voice of Superman. Again, watch it if you can. I think that it was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it still is. Super good flick. And you get to see him at the very end pull a nice little ploy, a nice ruse, if you will, to get the Elite to know that he's full of business. And again, I don't want to spoil anything. I don't think I can go for that. After that was 2013. I'm sorry, those were both in 2012. 2013, Superman Unbound. It's another Brainiac story, Supergirl story. Really good. Flashpoint Paradox came after that. Sam Daly got the voice for him, and he didn't really say much. If you don't know much about Flashpoint Paradox, you're not watching The Flash, obviously, Season 3. Flashpoint Paradox, spoilers, basically means that the Flash ran so fast he went back in time and stopped the guy to kill his mom. So that just messed up the future. And in that future, Superman did not crash in a small field in Kansas. He actually freaking blew a hole right in the middle of Metropolis. And they found him and kept him a government secret, and he's never saw the sun, so he can't be powerful, so he's not really Superman and Cyborg and friend. He really only says 1 or 2 words at a time. But Sam Daly got paid for it, so good for him. The next two coming up are probably my favorite animated so far, because they're the most adult, they're the most up to speed. They're in the New 52 universe, and that's War and Throne of Atlantis by Alan Tudyk. Tudyk. He got the voice for that one. And it's good, you know. Everybody knows and loves the line of Batman and Green Lantern going to confront Superman, and Superman has Batman in, what do you do? It's just like, what a badass thing to say to someone. What do you do? What is your power? Really awesome. The latest one that I watched is Gods and Monsters. And this is a whole cool new canon universe. Bruce Timm, if you don't recognize that name, think Batman the Animated Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League, Batman Beyond. I mean, he is that guy. Bruce Timm, awesome. Came back and basically reimagined the big three, the triumphant, if you will. Superman, instead of having Jor-El put in his DNA to the Kryptos that would make Superman, Zod did it. So, you know, he's a little bit more Russian looking almost. He looks like he wants to break your face, but no, that's not how he talks. And it's awesome, because he's a little bit more fisticuffy, he's a little bit more badass. Batman is not Bruce Wayne, it's some dude who likes vampires, and he is a vampire and shit. That's weird. And Wonder Woman is just, again, I haven't watched it lately. got to do it again. But she's not an Amazonian. She's not from Themyscira. It's basically the big three all reimagined. And it's awesome. I liked it. Those are all the cartoons. The ones that we got coming up right now. Next should be the Teen Titans one. The one, spoilers, with Tara. No, but before that, we're getting one other. Oh, Justice League Dark, which is going to be all Batman again. I'm sure Superman will be in it, but I'm not really sure how big of a part he's going to play, because he's not really that dark. He's the opposite, so I'm sure he'll be there like, Batman, I don't like this dark stuff. And Batman will be like, all right, I'll go do it over here, don't worry. Where's the trigger? That's really going to be it. I hope I laid down a pretty good amount of Superman knowledge for you. First time, so we're seeing some technical difficulties that'll get panned out. The podcast is coming back. If you can't tell, the new Glutton Cave, if you will. No, not too great. It's brand new. I'm not in the state that I was with the guys who I started it with, so we're going to try to get back on. We're going to have to figure out the internet teleface. It's going to work. It's going to come back, but until then, we're each going to kind of do these own little video episodes so we can keep ourselves busy and up and having fun and talking comics, because that's what we really love. We are gluttons for geekdom, so if I don't do the next one on Batman, Green Lantern, Iron Man, Deadpool, whoever you have, I can always jump into some Harry Potter. You want some Harry Potter love? I got you. Avatar, I love to talk about. Back to the Future, whatever you want, whatever geeks your gluttony, or piques your glutton for geekdom, whatever you want to say to make that sentence make sense. That's what I meant to say. In the meantime, I have been Nick James. Thanks all for watching. Watch me get really close so I could shut this off. Take care, guys.